We are back. It's the Ryan Hartson Show on the BWC Network. I am Ryan Hartson. What a game last night. Boring. I was just bored. I mean, that was just a game, not a game I'm interested in. Score points. If you're gonna play on Monday night, score points. Keep me interested. I mean, Giants and Rams was a bore too. I just stayed up because I was like, I don't know. I had like insomnia last week. It was weird. All right, your NFL power rankings. 1 to 10. That's how I do it. I go from top to bottom. I'm not a bottom to top guy. I'm a top to bottom guy. So we'll break those down. If you're interested in what other people think, check out ESPN.com, NFL.com. They do a nice job. I think a little differently than those guys just because, I'm right and they're wrong, clearly. So what we're going to do is we're just going to break it down. I threw a couple teams in there that some people disagree with. I don't because, I just think a little differently than other people do. And you need that. You need different perspectives. I mean, if everybody looks at things the same way, what the hell are we doing? Why do we do anything? I run into this problem all the time. Everybody looks at things the same way, and it's like, why can't we do something else? No, this is the way things have been done, and we will continue to do them this way. Well, that's fine. Does it work? No. Okay, well, if it doesn't work, why aren't we doing something different? Because this is the way. No. You have to change. So I'm giving you something different, throwing something at you. Just see what you think. Number 1, and this is a shocker, the Green Bay Packers. Defending champs. I've had them at 2. But obviously the number 1 team is down a little bit. So Packers are number 1, best team in football. Listen, Aaron Rodgers is probably the hottest quarterback on the planet right now, outside of that Fitzpatrick guy in Buffalo. And obviously the receivers are ridiculous. Jermichael Finley is back to whatever form. He's better. I mean, this is the best he's ever been. He hasn't been on the field long enough for me to know how good he is, and he is really, really good. That defense is going to come along. I'm still asking questions about that defense. Are they going to be okay against the better teams? We won't know that for a while because they are playing Denver next week. So, keep that in mind. 3-0 will go to 4-0 pretty quickly because you're playing the Broncos. So, Packers, I mean, they are looking good all the way through. And they're a fun watch. They really are. This is a fun team to watch. They score a lot of points. And they do, I mean, when they give up a lot of points, it's even more fun to watch. And honestly, I am a fan of the Packers. So watching them, I mean, when they are as good as they are, I mean, it was almost boring against the Bears. Like, it wasn't even a threat. You see them move up and down the field, and the Packers are just going crazy up and down the field, quick, tempo. And it's just like, it's boring now. I mean, when you're that good, it's kind of dull. So, and then when it got close at the end, of course, it was scary. I mean, it's either boring or scary with the Packers. Like, and that's, just a fan emotion, which I don't like. So, Packers number 1, I think they deserve it. Playing good football, and they're the champs. Champs playing like champs. That's what you have at number 1 early in the season. It'll obviously all this fluctuates depending on what happens. Blah blah. Number 2, the Saints. I think this is the best team in the NFC outside of the defending champions. I mean, when you think about Drew Brees, all the weapons he has to work with, Sean Payton is a genius. Defense, they're going to come along. Greg Williams is a great coordinator. The defense will come along eventually, and they are going to be great all year, and they are going to have a lot to say about who comes out of the NFC. In fact, they might be the team coming out of the NFC. They're probably a better bet than Green Bay because they don't have the weight of a championship on them already. So they can just, go and there's no pressure, so just go and win a championship. So the Saints looking really good. To me, they are in the driver's seat to get out of the NFC. Baltimore, number 3, I put them back up there. They play great against a Pittsburgh team, and then they get their ass kicked the next week, and then they're back up. And I just keep putting them back up there. Flacco played so good against the Rams, and the Rams suck. But I can't believe the Ravens are going to be up and down. I think they're going to be average to really, really good. Like, up and down. So I'm going to put them back up there. I trust the Ravens. I don't know why, but I do. I trust Baltimore. So put the Ravens back up at number 3. I move them down, I move them up, I move them down, I move them up. They're going to be the team. The Ravens are going to bother me all year because how good are they really? I don't know. We'll find out. Number 4, the New England Patriots. I have them at 4. Some people have them lower. Tom Brady is still the quarterback, last time I checked. Bill Belichick, still the head coach, last time I checked. They will fix the defense eventually. Bottom line, they will fix the defense eventually. They are a really good football team. Really, really good. Phenomenal. One of the best teams in the league, no doubt. And defensively, they will figure it out. It is still Belichick. People want to take shots at the Patriots when they're losing. it's still Brady and Belichick. And angry team going to Oakland next week, watch out. Number 5, the Detroit Lions. Some people have them all the way up at 2 or 3. I think that's ridiculous. They are young. They're really, really talented, but they are young. They're going to take their lumps at some point this season. When they run into some real adversity, how will they react? 20-0 down, coming all the way back. That was very, very telling, and they look to be a powerhouse. Said this yesterday, I'll continue to say it. I might regret it. Lions the only team that can take Green Bay or New Orleans in a playoff game. I firmly believe that. All the other teams in the NFC, they don't even look like a threat to me. The Lions can take Green Bay and New Orleans. I mean, they could take them out in a playoff game. The Lions are easily the third best team in the NFC. By a mile. I mean, Green Bay, New Orleans, and Detroit are the 3 best. I don't think anybody else is even close in the NFC, honestly. Even close. Dallas is getting there, but they have their own issues. But Green Bay, New Orleans, and Detroit are the 3 best teams by a mile. I have Houston at number 6. Texans look like the real deal despite the loss in New Orleans. New Orleans is an impossible place to play. They look like a machine on offense. Defensively, they have a few problems. You'll notice how that's a connection between all the elite teams. Like, there's just no defense being played in this league right now. It's weird. But Matt Schaub looks to be really, really good. He is improving as a quarterback. He makes a couple stupid throws a game, but that's because, he's not one of the elite guys, but he is really, really good. So I do like the Texans. Elite football team. Elite football team. I think you got to say they're one of the favorites out of the AFC. Got to. At 2-1, I mean, they're going to move forward and be one of the really good teams all year long, and I think they're going to stay in this top 10 for a long time. Number 7, the New York Jets. That defense I don't think they knew what they were getting into with the Raiders. I think they kind of underestimated them a bit, which is why they lost the football game. But they're still really good. I mean, Sanchez is an all right quarterback, and they do a lot of good things defensively. I think they'll continue to do those good things. Rex Ryan knows how to make adjustments for now, and the Jets are going to be back. Not necessarily better than ever, but tough game in Baltimore next week. We will see how that plays out. So it's interesting. The Jets are just interesting. I keep them in there because I can't think that defense is going to keep being that bad all year, considering Rex is the coach. So there's that. Number 8's the Dallas Cowboys. Romo's a great quarterback. You got a lot of receivers to work with. Great front 7. The secondary is iffy, but that's like every team in the league. I mean, every team in the league. The elite teams all have the same problems. Great offense, and the defenses can get better. The defenses that get better later in the season will be the ones that make their runs to the Super Bowl. So, Cowboys really, really good. And I've expected big things from them coming into this season. I continue to expect those things. Romo weathered the early storm. Now he just has to try to stay upright, make some throws, and they'll win a ton of games. And to me, they look like the favorites to win that division. Number 9, the San Diego Chargers had their issues with the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not worried about them. Not worried about a bad game against the team. It's not that big a deal. It's the league. Everybody's still a pro in this league, so Chargers had a hard time. It's okay. They make too many stupid mistakes in big games for me to consider them a legit Super Bowl contender. So, Chargers are good. They're not great. They got a lot to work on both sides of the ball, really. So, they're iffy. But I got them in there just because Phillip Rivers is amazing. But Norv Turner's going to screw it up at some point, I have no doubt. And number 10, how about the Buffalo Bills? Ryan Fitzpatrick, excellent quarterback. They got a couple nice pieces to work with. That offensive line is makeshift. It's good. It might come back to bite them eventually. I'm worried about the secondary. Defensive line is good. Linebacker, you have no idea if those old players from other teams in Sean Marion and Nick Barnett are going to hold up. We will see. But the Bills look to be pretty good. And like I said yesterday, how can you say they're not for real? Like, some people are like, the Bills, maybe they're not. When you beat New England, what else can you do? I mean, when you beat the Patriots, it's like, who else is better that you can beat? So the Bills look to be, they are good. They are really good. And these 10 teams, it kind of works out where all 10 are going to, looks like all 10 teams can end up in the playoffs. So the Bills, to me, are a playoff team for now. Some things can happen. I can see that offensive line getting really bad. I can see Ryan Fitzpatrick taking a step back. Maybe they can't run the ball as well every week. So there are a couple things where you could see them kind of collapse a bit, like those 2009 Denver Broncos that started out 6-0 and ended up 8-8. That could happen in Buffalo. I mean, there's not a ton there. There's enough that impresses people, but is there enough there where you think, can they be there all year? Will they take that step back eventually? Because, I mean, they still got to play the Jets. I'm not sure who else is on their schedule, but, we'll see. The Bills are a will-see team. They are definitely for real for now. They appear to be a contender, but how good are they really? Of course, we will see in the coming weeks and months in this very, very long NFL season. All right. Excellent job. I was fantastic. And what you take out of today, the good teams are still good. Buffalo is still in it. New England's going to be okay. Don't worry about that. So, anyway, on Saturday, Corey will be back, and we will be on camera, and we will be doing our regular breakdown. So, it'll be good to have Corey back. We'll break everything down. We will, pick and preview and do all the stuff we normally do. And the return of Tim Kursanenkus and the Jim Miller for President Sports program is, yes, just 3 or 4 weeks away, depending on, if Tim can ever show up again. Like, seriously, I only talk to Tim on the phone. It's like Tim is just a voice now. I only talk to him on the phone. I don't see him in person. Tim, please come back. No, he's working. He has a job. Us degenerates don't have jobs, and that's why we do this. But he's no longer a degenerate without a job. He's just a degenerate. Alrighty. Alright, it was a lot of fun today. I'll see you with Corey on Saturday. I'm Ryan Hartson. It's the BWC Network.